Hello, this is Pastor Jason. Welcome to Loving the Truth. We're here today, we're going to talk about Jesus and who Jesus was. Our text today is Philippians chapter 2, verses 6 through 11. Look at what Paul writes. Who being in the very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness, and being found in the appearance of man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Therefore God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name that is above every name, that at the name of Jesus every knee shall bow, in heaven and on earth and under earth, and every tongue acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. So what does this passage mean? What's it talking about? There's a lot of confusion with this passage. It's actually by theologians called the kenosis passage, or the emptying of himself passage. But it teaches something about Jesus that's pretty profound. It says in verse 6 that although he existed in the very nature of God, now that word is metamorphosis. It actually means form, the very form of God. So Jesus is God, but the next verse seems to question that. It says, but he did not consider equality with God something to grasp. Well, what does that mean? What it means plainly is that Jesus didn't use his power to try to force people to obey him. He did not use his power to force control. Although he is in control and sovereign, he did not use his power in a way that he wanted people to serve him. Instead, he served others. And that's very different. This whole passage is colored by this idea that Jesus is the suffering servant, that he takes on human flesh in order to die for you and I. Now that's quite different. When you think about it, if you were God, what would you do? Would you, have $1 million, maybe $1 billion, maybe a quadrillion? I don't know. Would you create whatever house you wanted? If you were God, kind of like Jim Carrey was God in the movie Bruce Almighty, what would your life look like? I'm pretty sure that I would be pretty selfish and not really thinking about others. Jesus didn't even have that mind. What Jesus did instead is that he set aside his right to serve himself. He set aside his right to use his power to feed himself, to comfort himself as a human. And instead, he used his power to heal others. In short, he used his power to die for those who could not save themselves. Now, here's my question. Who was worthy to be died for? Who was worthy of Jesus' death? The answer is no one. In Isaiah chapter 53, verse 6, it says that he bore our infirmities, that he himself was pierced for our transgressions. That means that the richest person on earth, the most powerful person on earth, actually came to earth in order to die for his enemies. And that's you and I, friend. Who is Jesus? He's the most loving God in the universe. He is He's the second person of the Trinity, of the one triune God who loves you and I, who did not use his power for himself, but set it aside in order to serve others so that he might die on the cross, even for you and I, when we are addicted to drugs, when we're addicted to sex, when we're addicted to people pleasing, when we're addicted to money. Jesus saw it, and he died for it so that you and I might live again. God bless you and have a great day.